This is the Owners Club video then for the BetaFPV Meteor75 Mark II Pro. And what that basically means is it's the 04 Lite wide angle version versus the analog one or the 04 Lite standard version. So pick whichever model you wish. Now there is a few changes to this model, and the whole video is aimed at a setup guide, of course. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about a couple of things that they've actually done that have really improved it and helped make it a little bit better. You can see there are these softening or dampening balls. Let me just bring it over to the camera. So you've got these dampening balls and they're on all four corners, as you can see there. And what that basically does is that dampens that 04 footage, because one of the biggest complaints with the original Meteor, the Meteor Pro, sorry, was that it had loads and loads of jello. This doesn't have any jello. Now, I'm not running the DJI 04 wide lens natively itself. I'm actually running a Flywoo version, which has the MP66 gyro in it. So we have given it every possible opportunity to be as smooth as possible, and it has rewarded us with that. So that may be an option that you want to have a look at and go down the route of. My advice probably would be to order it without a VTX and then order the Flywoo one with the MP66, because honestly, it just doesn't feel like it's the 04 Lite at all. The way that it smooths the footage, the way that it flies in the goggles, not the actual craft, I mean, it just feels like you're flying an 04 Pro because of that gyro. And obviously with that wide angle lens as well, you're laughing. Now, obviously, it hasn't got the resolution or the pixels, should I say, because of the sensor size that the 04 Pro has got. So, you know, you're never going to replicate the footage. But this is probably as close to it as you're going to get, and I'm really, really impressed. Let's have a quick look at what it actually weighs. Okay, so not the ideal angle, but we should be able to see it. So that's coming in at 43 grams with a battery 57 with a 580 mAh. Now, a lot of people are going to scream and cry and say, that's far too heavy for what this drone is. And I think a lot of people are missing the point about what this drone actually is. I'm not here to shill you. I'm not here to sell you. I'm just here to give you the information and impart out the setup guide to you. We're going to provide an adventure video and show just how fun it is to fly. And then if you decide to buy it, you decide to buy it. It's literally no skin off my nose if you don't. However, there's been a lot of comments from people saying, well, if I do a really big building dive into my own prop wash, it's just not got the power to pull out of it because it's really heavy with that 04. Well, yeah, you're right. It's not designed to fly like a 3-inch ductless FPV drone or a 5-inch ductless FPV drone. It's a 75mm whoop that's a 1S that's carrying a relatively heavy camera. It's not designed for you to throw it into a bando and do crazy freestyle moves at full throttle. Use the right tool for the right job, guys. So if you're looking at this thinking, well, I've got a 5-inch, I want to get this and I want it to fly exactly like a 5-inch, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to do that, because it's never designed to do that in the first place. What it is designed to do is to provide you with smooth cinematic footage. Yes, you can do your flips, your rolls and your tricks. No, it's not particularly brilliant at it, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be able to fly around people into small spaces, get you nice cinematic footage, and have a little bit of fun whilst being around 60 grams. That's it. That's literally it. If you want to go crazy freestyle, juicy flicks, S-Bang or Spang, depending which country you're from and how you call it, don't get a 1S tiny whoop. Like, that's just the logic. And I think sometimes people think they see a new release and they want to buy it because it's a new thing and they want it to fit into their philosophy. You've just got to pick the right tool for the right job, guys. It is literally as simple as that. And hopefully the adventure video that will be out after this, just because of the way the weather is at the minute, will show you just how much fun you can have with it whilst not worrying about doing your juicy flicks and your power loops and your building dives and your bando bashing. It's just a different animal. Right, anyway, that's enough from that. Let's move on. Just very quickly as well, I've had a couple of comments about, oh, you've got a clear canopy, you've got a different coloured canopy. There are different colour canopies available from BetaFPV. Here is a black canopy that you can also have as well. And there's others available on their website. I'll leave a link down below to those canopies as well. Okay, so to get this thing set up and ready for you to fly, I need you to have a look in your box, and you're going to have one of these. And what this is a USB adapter. So you're going to need a USB-C into your PC, and this is going to go into the flight controller, and it goes underneath here it goes into this part here. You can actually see where the pins are, and the pins are actually at the bottom of the connector. So just line up the other side, make sure the holes are at the bottom, and then you've done that. Then what you need to do is, of course, grab yourself a USB cable, which in this studio is easier said than done. Okay, and we're going to plug it in now. So you need to go to app.betaflight.com and then select your device, can't find my USB, and then it'll pop up in this box and hit connect. And you're now connected to it. I'm just going to keep a close eye on this temperature. Now there's a few things that we're going to do, but let's have a quick look through our setup guide first of all. So in our ports, we just need to make sure that this looks like this. So if yours doesn't look like this, pause the video and make it look like this. And you do that by pressing these buttons and whatever, depending what isn't correct on yours. But just make it look like this, and then we can move on to the next one. The configuration, you need to make sure you've set it to 180 degrees arming. And the reason for that is, if you haven't set it to 180 degrees arming, if you're stuck upside down in a tree like that, it won't arm. Make sure it's 180 degrees arming, and then that way, no matter what angle that drone's at, it will always arm. So the potential is you'll be able to shake it free from a tree. Make sure over here you've got RX loss and RX set on your beeper set. This will just make the motor noise, or the motors make noise, should I say. It's not particularly loud, but it's better than nothing when you're looking for this tiny little thing in a long field of grass. We've also got a video of how to find it if it's still plugged in with ELRS Finder as well. I'll link that either up the top or down below. Power and battery, we need to make sure that this is set to 4.4 because these batteries are LiHV batteries and you charge them to 4.35. So if it's set to 4.3, it'll see it as a dead 2S. And you'll get all sorts of errors on your OSD. You'll be able to fly it, but you just won't be aware of exactly what your battery's at because it'll give you a false reading. Now, failsafe is set to drop. And the reason you have that set to drop is because you don't have a GPS. So you want it to fall as soon as it loses signal and not carry on for miles, and then you can't find it. In your presets, I wouldn't necessarily use anything here. The only thing realistically is your ELRS 250 Hertz if you're going to run 250 Hertz. You can select this if you want, or you can just apply it. And your receiver tab now, we're not going to be able to set this up yet. And the reason we're not going to be able to set this up, and hopefully you guys can recognize this now, is because we're in what's called Wi-Fi mode. Now, we can bind manually, or we can add a bind phrase, which we'll do in a second. In our modes tab, you've got whatever modes that you want to have. I just have it to beeper and arm. Adjustments, motors, you don't need to really touch anything in here. But again, if it doesn't look like this, make sure it does. Just in your PID tuning tab as well, make sure that your PID tune looks like this and your filters looks like this. Pause the video if needed. This is my rates. Rates are very, very personal. So just bear in mind, they can be a little bit quick at times, depending on what you're using. I have dialed my rates back quite a lot from last year. They used to be double this. And that's the point. They're so personal that, you know, you're going to constantly just sort of tweak and change them until you find what's right. But basically, I'm running center sensitivity 200, max rate of 900 and no expo. OSD, very personal again, so have it set up however you need it. That's how I've got it set up personally. I don't really need any more than that. I could probably do with dropping a couple of things off there, but it is what it is. Video transmitter, this is for analog mainly. You don't need it for the DJI system, so you can just ignore it. And there is no LED on it, so you don't need to go to LED strips. And that is it. We've done it all in here. What we're going to do first of all, considering we are now in Wi-Fi mode, is we're just going to see if it will connect where it's sat on the desk. It may be too far away. Okay, so we can't actually see it on our home network for some reason. I'm not quite sure why it's not picking it up. But on my mobile phone, I can, so I'll show you how we do it on there. So we press the Wi-Fi button to bring up a list of the available networks. And we're looking for Express LRS RX. Press OK. Then we need to open up a web page. and type in 1.0.0.1. And we can see here now we're in the Express Lua script. It tells us, the Express setup page, and it tells us the firmware revision and the name of the receiver that we are using. So there's your revision 3.5.6, and this is the name if you wanted to flash it and update it. But all we're going to do is we're just going to add our binding phrase, and that's my binding phrase there. I'm going to do nothing else but hit save. And that's now going to reboot. And we've now set our binding phrase. We don't need to do anything else in here. So I can turn off the screen recorder on my phone and we can move on to the next segment. And that next segment is just unplugging it and plugging it back in. And what will happen now, there you go, instantly. I don't know if you heard that, but you can see that it stopped flashing and it's now connected to our controller at the back. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to check our what's called our control surfaces. And that is basically to make sure that each one of these moves in the right way. So we check our control surfaces to make sure that the drone on the screen moves in the way that we are expecting. And that's fine, it does. So then we go into our modes tab, and in our modes tab, we want to select which button we use for our arming, but we don't know which one is AUX1. There's a couple of ways you can find out. You go into receiver and you can flick the switches until you see which one is AUX1. Or if you want to do it the lazy way, press auto and then press the whichever one you want to use. And then that will, in that position, when these two bars are over each other, be in the armed state. And you can see, obviously, I've got my LEDs to show that off. And that's it. It's all done and ready to set up from a flying perspective. You've set up your rates, you've set up your switches, you've bound your controller. What you need to do now is grab your goggles and we need to sort out that O4 light. Okay, so next up on the list is to bind your O4 to your goggles. And I've got my cable plugged in so you can actually see what is happening here. The first thing you're going to want to do, once this comes on, is you're going to want to hit the bind button. Okay, once you've hit that bind button and it's flashing red like that, it means that it is in binding mode. There we go. Now, if you've got the goggles 3, all you do is with the power button here, just hold that power button down until it starts beeping. It will then auto connect. If I just change the focus to the screen, go fly, you will then be able to see the studio lights. So that's it. That's all done. Now, there's a couple of things I would recommend that you do, and that is if you go into the menu, if you push up in the menu button, trying to do is blind. Turn it into manual mode, because in auto mode, it really isn't very good. Keep your ISO as low as you possibly can, and your shutter speed, again, you're going to need ND filters to keep it a bit lower when you're outside, but obviously when you're inside, if you're shooting in 60, try and keep it at about 120. Basically double. White balance, very personal, depending on what you want. Aspect ratio, I always shoot 16:9 just because I shoot for YouTube. Then obviously you've got your video quality, 4K 60 is what I shoot, and then obviously color profile, you've only got normal anyway. And we turn Rocksteady on because we've got that good gyro in here and some good, solid, that's what I'm looking for, dampening as well. And that's it, that's all done. Now, if you get a Flywoo one, you don't need to activate the O4 as well. If you don't get a Flywoo one, you will need to activate the O4. And I've got a video which I'm going to link down below, which shows you exactly how to activate it and everything. Shows you how to set it up, update it, activate it, so on and so forth. But I'm not going to do that in this video because I'm going to assume that you're probably going to want the best possible camera and you're going to pick up the Flywoo one because it's about the same price anyway. So that's it. You're ready to go and fly. And the O4 video also shows you about the quality and the setup and the settings and all that sort of good jazz that you're going to need to make the best out of that O4, whether it's Pro or Lite. If you've got the Pro, it's a bit easier to do. It's a bit easier to make it look good, should I say. If you've got the Lite, you are going to need to dial in those settings. So I do recommend watching that video. But that's it. We've set it up. We've done everything in Betaflight. We've done everything with the 04. We've set our rates. If we need to set our rates, we could use Betaflight defaults if we want, but everything's done and dusted. I'm going to leave a link down below. It will be an affiliate link to the Flywoo camera and to the BetaFPV Meteor Mark II. Our adventure video should be out within the next couple of days. I'm going to drop shorts as well in the sort of coming few days as we get more and more flights done. But I've already dropped one, so if you've not seen it, go and check our shorts feed now. So far, no jello, flies really well. Got any questions whatsoever? Leave them down below. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most. So watch it and let me know if they're right.